Hey, everybody. What an amazing couple of days this has been, right? We got like a foot of snow yesterday here in Northeast New Mexico, and my dogs are absolutely loving it. They're ecstatic. And of course, today has just been historic on so many levels. But hey, we still have a pandemic. That's not a newsflash for anybody. I know you're all aware of that. Keenly aware. The good news is we have a vaccine. I know there've been some hiccups in getting it rolled out. It's actually gone very, very smoothly here where I am. So smoothly that the state has given us a couple thousand extra doses, and we'll be rolling out I hope you guys could hear me. We'll be rolling out the next 1,000 new doses um, sometime the first week in February. So really, really good news. The bad news is no matter how fast it's coming, it's not going to be fast enough for some people. And now we have virulent strains. But again, good news. The current vaccine has been covering all the virulent strains. So, yay. I'm not really here to talk about COVID and the vaccine and the new strains, but I am here to talk about cabin fever. We all have it. I mean, we all get it every year at this time of year or sometime in the winter. It's just showing up earlier this year because we've all been cooped up for months and months and months now. So yeah, cabin fever is showing up earlier than usual, and it seems to be a bit more severe than it normally is. And we know why. We've been cooped up longer and to a much greater extent than normal. A lot of us have been really, really good about being compliant with the shelter-in-place orders, and I applaud you for that. I'm really grateful to those of you who've been doing that. Some of you have only been going out to get to the grocery store, and some of you haven't even been doing that. Those of you who can get groceries dropped off or even get them by pickup, you're so lucky. That's fantastic. Some of us don't have that. And some of us have to get out and grocery shop. Some of us have to get out and go to work. Work isn't nearly as much fun when you're putting your life on the line and when you have to worry about bringing the virus home to your family. But we do it. We do it. And now here it is barely a month into winter, and we all have cabin fever already. So what are we going to do? If you guys have recommendations for people for how to deal with cabin fever, by all means, put it in the comments. I'm willing to learn and willing to listen, and so is everybody else that's watching this. So help us out. I have some suggestions. They're not really new suggestions. Hopefully, they're new twists on old suggestions. And my first one is this: it's crafting. Now, some of you that I know are really, really crafty people, and that's cool. I'm not, at least I don't consider myself to be crafty. I was when I was younger. I was very much into that. I'm just too busy now. But for those of you who are, post what you're doing on social media and ask if anybody would like to learn, because there are ways that you can teach your gifts to other people. Like I know how to crochet, but I've never learned to knit. There are people who would love to learn to knit. That would be so cool. I do needlepoint and I do embroidery, and there may be people who want to learn that. There are ways that you can teach over the internet. You can start a YouTube channel. You can teach via Zoom. If you don't have Zoom, which I think everybody in the US has Zoom now, especially if you have children, but if you don't have that, you have Facebook. If you're watching me on Facebook, you can get on Facebook Messenger and start a video that way and teach it that way. It's really cool. You can do this. So you don't want to do crafty stuff. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with not doing crafty stuff. It's cool. What about cooking? So yeah, I know the whole baking thing has kind of run its limit. Personally, I still love coming home to the smell of fresh baked bread. I think that is just so cool. But my housemate is not into the work of that. Darn it. Yeah, he like doesn't want to do all the work of the baking, but we're both really, really into micro niche cooking. So, like, what if you decided that you were going to spend 1 month learning everything you could about cooking Italian, not just any Italian, but one region of Italy, just one region? You could learn so much in a month. Or if you're not into Mediterranean cooking, what about just Japanese cooking or just Thai cooking? That would be really cool. You could become like almost an expert in that, right? And of course, if you're going to do all that cooking stuff, then you're going to have to make sure you keep the weight off. Yeah, I know nobody wants to exercise. And certainly nobody wants to spend an extra 30 to 60 minutes on their Peloton. And those of us who haven't even started on the Peloton yet, there's a reason. We're intimidated by y'all. None of us wants to compete with y'all on the Peloton. I'll be right up front about it. We don't. But I'm not talking about an extra 30 to 60 minutes of exercise. I'm really not. What about 10 minutes of exercise? 10 minutes to help maintain your flexibility, maintain a little bit of strength. Did you know there's like an entire genre of 10-minute exercises out there? I did not know this until just a few days ago, but there's an entire genre of 10-minute exercises. Things you can do in just 10 minutes. You can Google them. There are Facebook groups. There's a ton of information out there. Some of the Facebook groups, you do have to pay a membership fee, but it's not much. And you can get a lot of benefit out of just 10 minutes of movement. So that's something to consider. But you know, these are just my suggestions. There's nothing written in gold about these. Let me know what you think. And of course, the ultimate thing to get out of your own headspace is to volunteer. There are a ton of things you can do to volunteer online or over the phone. By all means, let me know what your suggestions are. There are people who are going to see this after it's no longer live, and you can comment. Let me know what your suggestions, what things you're doing to help maintain your sanity, because sanity is kind of important. I'd like to hear back from you. I really would, genuinely. I'm going to take a few moments to make a little plug now. I'm still doing the leadership series, Leadership and Diversity in Medicine. And our next guest is Dr. Natalie Davis. I thought that was going to be this week. We're hoping to put it on next Wednesday, the 27th. Still waiting to hear back from her about a time. So I will let you know on Tuesday what time we're going to do that on Wednesday. That's Dr. Natalie Davis. She's an amazing female physician entrepreneur who's done some really interesting things in medicine. She's started more than one company. So really, I want you guys to hear what she's doing with that. And then we're going to be interviewing a number of physicians over the next few weeks, over the next several months, I should say. I've been doing it once a month, but now that I've started a business Facebook page, we may roll that out specifically on that page and do it a couple of times a month. I've also got a business Instagram, so feel free to follow me on those. Those are both called Beat Down Burnout. So we've got a business Facebook page, Beat Down Burnout, and an Instagram page, Beat Down Burnout. Would love to have y'all follow me on those. That way, if you're just following me on my personal Facebook, you won't have to see all that. You can, it was time to separate the two out. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Like I said, it has been historical. And this winter weather has been just amazing. Keep your fireplace lit. Keep your spirits up. I'll see y'all soon.